Hey, the stock market has fallen 300 points as we reach day 31 in the government shutdown. It comes as no surprise. A weak projection for the economy going forward, and there's no certainty of when this government shutdown is going to end. So what we have seen is, as a result, what we've seen as a result is the stock market just completely tanking, and there's literally no end in sight for the government shutdown. The food stamp program just released yesterday its last installment, which was a February installment, released early. Um, the high courts will be in less than 30 days, will be no more because there's no funding for those courts. And there's programs all the way across the board where there's some like Social Security in the state of North Carolina has another year, so it would take a year before that would start to affect. But then you start looking at when the dates when the military starts to get unpaid. Obviously, we know the Coast Guard is no longer getting paid because they didn't have funding to last another week past the government shutdown. As more and more and more and more stuff gets shut down because they don't meet their new budget because they aren't budgeted out. Like Social Security program is budgeted out in the state of North Carolina for until September of next year. So if we go past September, anybody on disability isn't going to get it. But beyond that, a lot of the disability programs have met their deadlines, and that people with disability for autistic children, particularly, they're no longer those programs are no longer getting funded. Some daycare programs are no longer getting funded. So this has a ripple effect where you can't send your kids to daycare if you're on any kind of subsidies, then obviously you can't maybe go to work. So this is a ripple effect of not being able to go to work because you need these programs, and this has got the economic outlook for the United States economy looking down, like they don't know what's going to happen. That's why you're seeing this Dow Jones plunge. It's now 146, and the Dow Jones has plunged up. It looks like 400 points now. So correction, 450, and you're continuing to see this. I don't know what we're going to close at around 5 o'clock, but it wouldn't surprise me if we have a much. I was going to put a number out there, but I'll just say a much bigger loss than the 300-point loss that we've already seen. I predict that the stock market could take another huge toll, much like the one we've seen on Christmas Eve. And I know a lot of people say, well, it rallied the day after Christmas. It didn't. It broke even the day after Christmas. It came back to what appeared to be, but we don't know what it would have done because Christmas Eve has always been a major rally day. Those numbers will be lost for eternity because you can never say what that holiday would have done in a normal situation. And these are all man-created disasters. There's no reason for us to be going through these economic turndowns. There's no reason for the stock market to be falling out other than the fact that the government shut down and there's uncertainty in the markets. We are now well into the longest United States government shutdown of all time. And I think that number of how long we're now 1 month into this government shutdown, which is just mind blowing to say that our entire United States government has been shut down for 1 month. And I predict, like I said, this government shutdown will continue to draft at different aspects. I think we'll see a day when the military doesn't get paid. I think, much like we've seen with the Coast Guard, I think we'll continue to see programs get shut down. Um, the food stamp program installments went out today. Yesterday, my bad. They went out yesterday for February, which was an early installment. And that will obviously, as next month rolls around, that's going to cause even more. You're going to see those effects in the grocery stores. That's the ripple effect that everybody that's on EBT also the payments are no longer being made in grocery stores. They're no longer shopping, and that's the snowball effect. Much the way when we see with the auto bailout in 2007, where we're like, oh, okay, Ford's doing okay. They don't need to get bailed out, but they did have to get bailed out because if Chrysler was going under and General Motors was going under, what it was going to do was bring in the parts. The parts company were going to also go under because they needed to sell enough parts to stay in business, which meant Chrysler had to be buying parts, Ford had to be buying parts, and General Motors had to be buying parts. Now, while some of these companies that will obviously be deeply affected, around here, I live around Camp Lejeune, eastern North Carolina, everything depends on the military. Um, and just the fact that Marines that would normally go out and spend their paychecks, not because they're not getting their paychecks, but because they're uncertain of how many more paychecks they're going to get, it's already taking a toll on the local economy around here because they're not going out and spending money the same way they would if they knew that their next paycheck was coming. And they're still getting their paychecks. So imagine what's going to happen when they're no longer getting their paychecks because now they're in the fear of the future, them not having paychecks. But so we're seeing that at a local. I mean, they're cutting hours at gas stations, they're cutting hours at Walmart, they're cutting hours at just places. And this is the ripple snowball effect, and this is why you're seeing uh, an economic downturn. This is why you're seeing a bad outlook for the next quarter, is because they know that these people aren't going to spend money. Even the people who are getting their paychecks aren't going to spend money. Businesses that aren't directly dependent on the government, but their customers use government get their government paycheck because they're employed by the government. All those people on SSI, people on Social Security, people on Medicare, Medicaid, all of that is going to be greatly affected in the foreseeable future. And some of this has got dead dates on it. And if the government shut down to this date, that this program is going to get shut down. That if the government shut down to this date, this program is going to get shut down. Like I said, we're within 1 week of the Supreme Court being shut down. It's mind fucking. Anyways, I mean, where do you go? We regulations everywhere. The food products in grocery stores. If you haven't noticed, the product on cheese and milk is all went up because there's no one regulating price gouging, so you can literally charge whatever you fucking feel like. And also, they know that there's going to be no way they can sell a lot of these products come next month because the food and drug regulations. You can't sell it just because those regulations aren't there for next month. New product can't come into the store. So what do? You price gouge this month and try to make up for what you're not going to get next month. That is continuing at every local grocery store in the United States. And these are the ripple effects of a government shutdown. And if you don't think this government shutdown is going to affect you, hold the fuck phone because I promise you it will. And the longer it goes down, the more it will affect you, and you. I promise you that. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care what country you're in because obviously, and I don't mean to be offensive, but the American economy dictates all other economies. So when our economy starts to nosedive, other economies will follow suit, and you will see that full hand. Anyways, I'm Kent with FullEntertainmentMedia.com. Please, if you like this video, hit that like button right there. Thank you very much. And subscribe to the channel and ring the bell as always. God bless each and every one of you.